Now you see, when I talk about how disingenuous that this whole Polaris team, including the sponsor of the Polaris project and the whole NDC administration is, this is not an overstatement. This is not an exaggeration, because every day they prove it. And the good thing about it, the more they speak about this project, is the more they expose themselves, and is the more I realize how disingenuous these people are. Now this woman went on the Bob report and in some respects disrespected Mr. Bob. Okay, and I understand the gentleman, that's not his field. He doesn't understand how this works, in a thorough manner. So of course you could BS him and, make statements around the world, and of course make statements and take him for a ride. So this gentleman asked a question about main contractors. Okay? How did you procure these main contractors? What was the bidding process and stuff like that? Now this woman should at least know at this stage, all you have is concept plans and a master site plan. Now that represents only 1% of the architectural work, final architectural work. So as I have said before, it would take 6 to 9 months, okay, to create full construction documents. Okay? Full construction documents. So this woman should at least be honest and genuine with Mr. Bob and say, look, all we have right now is concept plans, and we can't talk about main contractors now. We're not able to hire main contractors. Because if you understand how the process works, when you have the final construction documents, then you can think, okay, or at least advanced detailed plans, then you can think about looking into, okay, hiring main contractors. And you can send out the construction documents and the contractors can look at them and place a bid. She doesn't do that. But this woman goes around the world and tries to disrespect and dishonor and deceive Mr. Bob. Goes on this man's show, okay, and refuse to be candid with him. Now that is dishonorable.
The first, but let us talk about, because you did reference the contractors who would be involved in the construction of the first phase of the facility. Let us talk about what went into identifying those contractors. Who are they? Subcontractors on the project? Are there any local Grenadians going to be involved? What was the bidding process like in identifying those suitably qualified contractors? Who wants to take that?
I'll start with just a very overarching comment to say, of course, at this point, everybody has seen that there's a lot of activity happening. We wouldn't be able to hide that by any stretch. All of the activity that's currently taking place are local contractors that is visible. There's a lot of work to do to prep the site even before we get to main works. And so we are actually in the process still of selecting our main contractor. And so we wouldn't be able to go in too deeply to that. We would be bringing you more news of that as we identify the main contractor in the coming months.
As I have said, I am glad that these people continue to speak on this Polaris project. Sooner or later, their boss is going to tell them, don't say anything about Polaris because you guys are getting us in trouble. You're exposing too much. And you open up yourselves to even more trouble. So I want you to listen to what this woman says. Okay? She says that in this groundbreaking ceremony, okay, she hoped the elites of Grenada will be there. First and foremost, that is who she mentioned. The elites of Grenada, she hopes, is going to be there. Okay? She didn't first mention the regular Grenadian people and the hard-working middle class of Grenada. She says, oh, I hope the elites is going to be there. and as an afterthought says, oh, and the rest of the Grenadian people will be there. So when I say to you that the NDC, you might have heard me say petit bourgeois, that the NDC is indeed a petit bourgeois party. That is not, again, an exaggeration. That is facts. And Miss Andrea St. Bernard has just testified to that. She is telling you who she represents. And she is telling you who she thinks about. And who this whole show, this whole shenanigan, this political theater of Polaris groundbreaking, she's telling you who it is for. It's not for you. It's not done for you. Okay? This is a ritual of sorts. A celebration for them. It's like, we did it. We made that money. Okay? And in the process, we deceived the Grenadian people. This is their ritual of celebration on your backs. This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for them to knock champagne glasses, okay, for having deceived you. I hope you wise up, my fellow Grenadians. So this hospital doesn't represent the earnest ambitions of the regular man and the middle class man of Grenada. No way. This, as I have said, is a ritual of sorts. It's a ritual among petty bourgeois associates to say, this is one of the ventures we're on, you know we're going to do well on this. It's like when you sell a stock or something, or when you made some money in the stock market, you have to celebrate. So this is what this is about. To signal to her fellow petty bourgeois associates that, we're making it big. Look at this. We're rolling in the dough. That's what this is about. And then you people turn on each other and fight on each other when people like myself, well, you guys can't come at me, so I don't even waste your time, okay? Because you know I don't play around, okay? But you fight on people like me, or you attempt to fight on people like me when we try to speak truth to power, okay? When actually people like myself is actually fighting for you to ensure that your hard-earned taxpayer dollars are not squandered, okay, and are not used to enrich other people at the state's expense. Hopefully, sooner or later, like everything else I have said in the past that has come to pass, you guys will understand what I'm saying.
Do want to commemorate the moment with a little bit of activity and festivity. So we will have the presence of, hopefully, Grenada's elites, as well as all of Grenadians across